Card Fight 2 is the only card fight game worth playing. Okay, not really. Blood Dragon is really great though. Far Cry, in my opinion, is a pretty good game franchise, despite claims of the games being too similar to one another. However, that isn't true for Far Cry 2, as it's been praised for being a more grounded and realistic game compared to all the other games in the series. Now, many fans say that Far Cry 2 is part of the golden era of the franchise. There are several design elements, both big and small, from the first 3 games of the franchise that you'll see in later games. For example, going to an exotic location that's run by a villain, fighting with the rebel force that has characters with varying degrees of wackiness. And Herc! You never forget about Herc. Well, we could sit here all day and complain about how the mighty is falling. I'm here to talk about whether or not Far Cry really did peak for the second game. So come along with me, and we'll see if Far Cry 2 really is the best in the small running franchise. My journey begins, like all video games journey do, with the character select screen. It doesn't matter which person we choose, but do take a note of them as a few of them will appear later in the story. Once I select my meat suit on what to inhabit, I am then given a short backstory of my objective. I am a mercenary, sent in to kill an arms dealer named the Jackal. Rumor has it, he's been supplying weapons to warring factions all across Africa, with the latest one being the United Front for Liberation and Labor, or the UFLL, and the Alliance for Popular Resistance, or the APR. It is believed that once the Jackal is taken care of, this latest war will finally be solved once and for all. I arrived at the unnamed African country. No, seriously, they don't give this place a name. It could be Wakanda for all I know. And I'm taken on for a ride in the cab, from the airport to my hotel in the city of Paula. Here, the cab explains the gist of the situation. The UFLL and the APR have been waging war all across the country, and mercenaries have come to the country to fight for whichever faction pays them the most. And that the rich and powerful have already fled to wait out the war. It's during this trip that I start to get sick. And not sick from ingesting all the snacks from the plane, or sick in the cool way, but sick from malaria. And to think that robots can't get biological viruses. Oh well, at least it's not a computer one. Damn it! I pass out as soon as I arrive at the hotel, and someone thankfully carries me to my room. Once I wake up, I am face to face with my target, who is rudely going through my documents, giving me another reason to kill him.
The target's presence in the state continues to be a destabilizing influence. He is largely responsible for the recent influx of weapons in the country, in clear violation of the Joint Signatory Framework. His reputation as a dangerous arms dealer is well deserved. Orders are to terminate. Bro, look at this dude. Did you honestly think that you could kill me?
Honestly? Yeah.
Well, you didn't, as you're now dying from malaria. Let me guess, you thought you were built different? That's what everyone thinks. Only to then be killed from their own arrogance. Now, seeing as you're bedridden, it looks like you're on your way out of this mortal plane. But I'll be nice and give you a quote from my favorite philosopher, Friedrich Nietzsche. Sorry, I saw a spider. It kind of freaked me out. Anyways, the quote. A living being seeks above all to discharge its strength. Life itself is will to power. Nothing else matters.
Oh god. Are you a member of r/atheism?
I'm a mod.
I soon wake up in a daze. Grabbing the machete and pistol that was left by the Jackal, I head outside to a complete war zone. No, not the type of war zone. I do my best to avoid combat and run out of town, but before I can make it out, my malaria flares up and promptly pass out. You're alive. No way in pain, Jeffrey. He's gonna die from an ambush anyways. Alright, here's the gist. There was a ceasefire in Paula between the APR, which is my group, and the UFLL, who are the main stinky dumb group. As you may have seen, that lasted for about as long as an episode of SpongeBob. Now, even though my bad for telling me that when they saw you, you didn't fire at everyone, I'm still blaming you for the casualties that you caused me. Because Lord knows I need someone to blame for this mess. Anyways, we got gorgeous outside, so we gotta fix it up and Drive me to the safe house. It's not far from here. Once you're there, I'll call you for your next assignments. Now get armed up and get out of my sight! Heading outside, I proceed to fix the vehicle. There is a lot of driving in this game, as most destinations require you to drive through different sections of the map. And let me tell you, traffic police is a complete nightmare, but we'll get to that later. Oh, we'll get to that later. Oh yeah, almost forgot. There may be some UFO hallmarks at that safe house, but I'm sure that's not a problem for a mercenary like you, right? Anyways, go look out there. Heading to the safe house, I clear out the area, unlocking the safe house. Now safe houses are your go-to for when you need to save in the field, or near a safe place to supply ones upgraded. They are also completely useless. At least if you're playing on PC, like me, because you can save pretty much anywhere, which makes the point of saving a safe house null and void. If you die, you'll usually respawn at your last save, so it's simply best to save before you get to a difficult area, just in case you're killed. As for resupplies, while you can get ammo and medkits for safe houses, you need to upgrade it first by doing blue objectives when you're on the main mission. Now, while it doesn't sound super bad on paper, in execution it's also pointless, as you can get supplies from checkpoints, gun stores, and out in the world if you look hard enough. Going back to the story, I receive a call to save a fellow mercenary from a nearby stronghold. I scout out the area meticulously, planning out my attack, before going in guns blazing, hoping that I don't die, which, as you can tell, worked out just like a charm. Just then, my military started acting up again, as I rescued the mercenary.
Thank you for saving me, Mario, but your princess is in another castle. We like to have fun here in this country. Though you don't look so hot, my man. Must be that malaria. Don't worry, you're not the only one to think that they're built different. Since you've saved me, I'll let you meet this guy who knows how to get some medicine for you. Come on down to Mike's bar, just south of Paula. Welp, I should get going now. I'll see you at the bar. Best buddy.
As this happy-go-lucky person just said, this is your best buddy. But I'll let them explain once we get to the bar. For now, I must drive back to the APR Lieutenant, so he can tell me my task. Oh, come on, man! I bet my entire life savings on you! Dying. Ugh. Whatever. I was supposed to pay you in diamonds, cause that's what this stupid economy's right on anyways. But the guy carrying the briefcase slipped on a banana peel and broke his neck. I want you to go retrieve it. It's somewhere around this area. Just follow the beacon light to the GPS, then go get yourself something nice at the gun store just south of Paula, right next to Mike's bar. Then you're free to do whatever. Now, I would suggest you start working for APR by going to our HQ, where you cost me so much grief in the past 15 minutes that I am afraid you don't step a pinky toe in the HQ. Only 15 minutes! And already you made me lose 2 bets! The first one was for shits and giggles, but the second was my entire life! I'll have my wife forgive for this. My father was right. I'll never amount to anything. Oh god. Just go. Go and let me be. Okay then. Anyways, hey now, I tracked down my first out of 221 diamonds? Hey! Surely they won't give me 1 to 2 diamonds per case. And surely they won't use this diamond excursion as a way to waste time. I'll have some good gear in no time. I make my way to the gun store, arming myself up before heading out to Mike's bar to meet with that funny mercenary from earlier.
My friend, you've made it! Honestly, I wasn't sure if you would, given the whole full-blown war outside thing. I even heard that a guy died slipping on a banana peel. Ugh, it's pandemonium, I tell you. But no matter. You've come here to treat your malaria, right? Well, I know the guy who can help. His name is Ruben Uluwagembe. He's sitting there at that table. I'll let him tell you about himself. As for me, my name is Quarbani. I'll be the guy who'll call you whenever you get the job from either the APR or UFLL. Oh, and that guy standing by the wall is Josip. He'll save you whenever you're injured.
Idiot, my friend. I am Josip. I am the guy who's going to save your ass whenever you get into trouble. How would I know where you're at? Well, it's a thing called telepathy, my friend. And also directly placed onto your phone while you are looking. But mystery is cooler. However, just so you know, I can only save you once while in the field, so whenever you need me to rescue you again, just go to any safe house, and I'll be available to save your ass again. Lord knows you're going to need it. After getting well acquainted with my buddies, I head over to Ruben. He goes on to explain his background as a reporter. He is here tracking down the Jackal all around Africa, and confirms that the Jackal is indeed selling weapons to the factory in this country. However, during his reporting, Ruben came across some atrocities that were being committed by the factions. In exposing the factions' atrocities, he was labeled persona non grata and became marked for death. He also tells me that he was able to get a tape recording of his interview with the Jackal, but more on the tapes later. For my malaria, Ruben sends me back to Paula, to the local reverend, who happens to have some medicine I need. Hanging out in Robin and Paula is now a ceasefire zone. How long the ceasefire will last remains a mystery, but no time to worry about that, as I enter the church to meet the reverend. Upon entering, I get my pills, and I'll move too soon, as my malaria was starting to make me see yellow. The reverend explains that in exchange for more medicine, I need to help him out with getting some civilians out of the country by handing them passports. With that taken care of, I am finally free to do some jobs for the APR and UFLL. Now, what did that APR guy told me again? Oh please, join the APR. I would love to have a new friend do jobs for us. Alright, to join his faction. But before I do that, I need some better weapons. And what better way to get new weapons than by going to the gun store to do some gun missions? Gun store missions are fairly simple. You go to an area that has a convoy, forever trapped driving in circles. You free them from this eternal hell by blowing them up. During these gun missions, you can plan out how you're going to take out the convoy, either by chasing them down, or waiting around and ambushing them. Though you can get lucky by merely stumbling upon them after fast traveling, which happened to me. During one of these gun missions, I fast traveled to the area where the convoy will be at. I then took out my explosive crossbow, which I got by having the Founders Pack DLC, and proceeded to shoot at the convoy. My first arrow hit an MG truck, immediately destroying it. I see the convoy truck speeding away from me, with no time to think. I have my crossbow, and... Since we're on the topic of weapons, guns are broken into 3 categories. The primaries, which are mostly rifles, shotguns, and snipers. Secondaries, which are small arms, like pistols and SMGs, and the special weapons, like LMGs, RPGs, mines, and, for the artillery chads in the audience, a frickin' mortar! Be forewarned, however, as all weapons have a tendency to jam and break, due to a thing called durability. Throughout the game, I get myself into a lot of firefights, which will lower the weapon's condition. The lower the condition is, the more chance it will jam, until eventually it will explode right in front of your face. This is sometimes very frustrating, especially if it happens in the middle of a firefight, which is supposed to be the point. You can't pick up enemy weapons if you need in the pinch, but just so you know, they have super low conditions, so it's really in case of an emergency situation. Thankfully though, I always go to my local gun store, and whenever my guns start to jam. It's also here where I can buy upgrades for my weapons, some of which include accuracy and reliability, which will increase the weapon's durability. Now, what was I again? Oh yeah! We'll get with the APR! Head over to the APR HQ. I be with the leader of the APR in this district.
Huh? Oh, hello, my man. How's it going? You must be the delivery person bringing our pizza, right? I'm kidding with you, friend. I'm kidding. We like to joke here. Welcome to the Alliance of Popular Resistance. My name is Kouassi. I'm the captain of the APR in this region, and let me tell you, things are rough. I'm sure you've seen the chaos outside, no? Well, you could thank the UFLL for that. Ever since they started this war, Taco Tuesday every Tuesday, and nothing but bloodshed. I can't complain too much though. Mercenaries from all over the world have signed up. Plus the money I've gotten from doing assassinations, it's boosted our finances crazy. Look at this chain, look at the chain, look at it. Oh, speaking of assassinations, you've got the eye of a killer. And that's what we need. How about you do a job for us? A little test, let's call it. A police chief has been putting pressure on our operators, and I need you to take him out.
Like, on a date?
Alright, killer with a sense of humor. I think you'll fit right in. I'll let Quiepo fill you in on the details.
What? You again? What did I just say? What did I just say? You want me to be a part of the APR? So we can have fun adventures together? I can't get break, can I? Ugh, fine. Here's your stupid mission. The chief is currently doing his famous drive to an area and go around in a circle convoy. When I look at your gear, it looks like you haven't experience with that type of convoy, so it shouldn't be a problem. But if you're not feeling like— Yeah, after destroying 4 convoys in a row, it does get tiring after a while. Don't interrupt me! It's very rude when you do that. As I was saying, you should try and find a way to keep us stationary. How you do that is up to you. We'll pay you for now for the job, but don't get smart and try and run off with the money here. That's also very rude. Now get out there and step on a landmine so I have to see your stupid face ever again. Is it by two?
Oh, I almost forgot. My men are hungry for violence. They'll kill anyone who steps into their own territory. And I mean anyone, even our own people. So, good luck.
Hey now, the HQ. I start to make my way towards the objective. Well, I quickly get a call from my buddy, Quarbani.
Hey! How's it going, friend? I heard you just got a job to kill the police chief. Funnily enough, I am doing a job in the same area your job is at. How about you come over to this safe house that I've marked on your map? It's the blue marker.
Well, encouraged to see what Quarbani is planning, headed over to the blue marker. I faced a long and treacherous journey, eventually making it over to the safe house. Quarbani explains that the police chief's brother is in a hideout nearby. If I threaten him, the police chief will drive over to the police station, which will make him an easy target. I am then tasked with destroying a truck for Quarbani, while he distracts and leads away some of the guards from the police station. Heading out to the safe house, I am now locked into a blue mission. Blue missions are an alternative way to do any main mission in the game. Usually, if you head straight out over to the red markers, you'll complete the main objective of the job, and complete the mission as well. However, in the blue mission, your buddies will give you some help in completing whatever job you need to do, as long as you help them with their jobs. As I previously stated, not only will you receive a safe house upgrade, but you will also gain reputation and history from your buddy, which is just extra backstory that you can look into the journal for in the pause menu. After making the brother piss his pants out of fear and assassinating the police chief, I head over to where the truck is and promptly blow it up. Thank goodness that's taken care of. I wonder how Quarbani's doing.
I overestimated the amount of people chasing me and now I need help. It's marked on your map. Okay, bye!
Ah! Well, this is a problem. Heading over to Quarbani, I am able to support him and help him clear out the enemies, thus completing the mission. Now, I'm not gonna go over every mission, as we'll be here all day. I will be covering the most important missions as I see fit though. For now, let's talk about exploration, and how it makes me want to fucking die! Okay, so, in this game, you travel a lot, due to missions being so far out, as well as the fact that after each mission, you have to go back to whatever HQ you got the job from. Now, I don't mind the distance itself, as it doesn't really take too long to travel, but what makes it so long and tedious are two things: the checkpoints and the vehicle patrols. Sure, there's fast travel in the game, and you may think, oh, just fast travel to the safe house in the map. Nope, they don't have that, but they do have bus fast travel, as when you go to a bus station, it'll take you to one of the 4 spots that are shown at the bus stations. Including the spot that transports you directly to Paula or the other city in the region that we'll get to later. The checkpoints are just mini outposts that you clear out, giving you either medkits, ammos, or grenades, depending on what the checkpoint is. However, each checkpoint will have enemies in them, and will be in an intersection that you must go through. Now, that doesn't sound too bad so far. That is, until you realize the enemies respawn when you're 10 feet away from them. Not to mention, whenever you're driving back to the HQ, you're forced to engage with the same enemies. in the same checkpoint. Who will just go off the road to avoid the checkpoints? I would go off-road, but they have a lot of rocks and trees, which will make it super difficult to traverse through. That's thus making the roads the only viable option to travel. Now, only one area in the region is more open than the others, but it doesn't matter, as enemies will still see you and engage you. Oh, we'll just drive past this so you'll have to stop for every checkpoint. I hear you say as you are following my Twitter and donating to my Ko-fi link below in the description. About that, enemies will chase you down, no matter what, especially if they're in the vehicle, which a lot of checkpoints have. In my playthrough, I was only able to avoid one checkpoint of God knows how many. Speaking of getting chased, the patrols. Throughout the game, you'll come across enemy patrols, which they will engage you in the vehicle. However, what is just so frustrating is that if you drive past a vehicle, they will somehow turn around and hunt you down. Or if you see it from behind, they will stop what they're doing and engage you. It gets so frustrating because no matter what, you are forced to engage them. You can't try to escape because for some reason, you'll get chased down to the ends of the earth. And most patrols will use an assault truck with a machine gun mounted on top. And let me tell you, those things really do pack a punch, especially when they're shooting at a vehicle, as when the vehicle takes damage, it will slow down and smoke. Now, usually I would repair the vehicles and be on my way, but I got so frustrated at this that I would just steal the car that was shooting at me, which was faster than repairing. And oh, don't get me started on the fact that whenever you clear a checkpoint, there is a chance a patrol will just come across you and you're forced to engage that. And you better hope another patrol doesn't see you as well. And no, I mentioned the reputation system before, but no, it doesn't work. Because for some reason, even though you become the most feared mercenary in the country, you will still get gunned down and chased. Why? How is that possible? I am death itself! Death incarnate! Don't you fear death? I fear it every day! I fear it. Moving on. I then start to do missions for the APR, alongside missions for the church, which includes going to an area and clearing out enemies and handing out passports to the people in exchange for medicine. Eventually, after much blood, sweat, tears, so many tears, I finished up my jobs with the APR, though I didn't really learn anything about where the Jackal is, so I guess the next best thing is to work with the UFLO. Head over to UFLO HQ. I am met by Leon Gakuma, the region's UFLO leader.
What is good, my friend? You must be the Amazon guy delivering my package, no? That's what we call a dad joke. I was a class clown in high school, whatever. My name's Leon. Welcome to the UFLL. It's a good thing you came. Something's been messing with our operations, and I think the APR has us on the ropes again. With you here, however, you can be useful, I think. So, let's get started, shall we?
Just like in the APR, I start doing jobs for the UFLO, like missionary supply routes and weapons shipments. One mission, though, has me saving another mercenary.
Thank you for saving me, Mario, but your princess is in another castle! I'm just kidding. We like to joke here. My name is Michele, and I'm your best buddy. I give you—
Oh, wait. I already got a best buddy.
You do?
Yeah, his name is Quarbani. He's really cool. He helped me out with a couple of jobs.
Quarbani? That motherfucker! Tell me that the joke I just told you, it was your first time hearing it. Tell me it was your first time! Fuck! He steals my best buddy, and then he steals my joke? You know what? Go. I don't want to deal with you anymore. You two probably have friendship bracelets, and a secret handshake, and I just want a friend.
Hey, it's okay. I can still be friends with you.
I don't need your pity!
Another mission has me killing the king. Wait, what? Yeah. So it turns out this country has a king who left the country as soon as the war started. But he's recently come back with a boatload of gold to use to buy his way back into the throne again. And the UFLL wants the gold. So it's up to me to steal it. However, in the blue missions, Quarbani tasks me with assassinating the king. and stealing the string to give it to his son. Seeing as I have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to commit regicide, I take on the mission and raid the fort the king is residing at. Upon reaching the king, he tells me that killing him will bring trouble for me, and that he has people who will hunt me down. This seems serious. Do I really want to risk it? This is some high-ranking merc. This is the leader of a country, a nation. He has unlimited resources, so who knows what will happen. Heading over to the safe house, instead of meeting with Quarbani, to my surprise, I am met with the prince himself. Upon giving him the ring, he seems oddly relieved that his dad was killed, though he does threaten me about going after him. But hey, at least he rewarded me with some cool Jeeps trademark, so I think we'll be squared. Heading to where the gold is, it seems Quarbani is already there waiting for me. Plus, the gold is unguarded. Upon heading down the well, and setting the beacon for the UFLL, I climb back up, only to find an ambush waiting for me. I fought the attackers off, killing off every one of them. But tragedy struck. Quarbani was killed in the firefight. I didn't even get the chance to tell him how much he meant to me. But I can only do the next best thing and move on. After doing some missions, I am tasked to kill Kouassi? Seems like the UFLL is almost trying to take over the region, and they need me to tie up loose ends. Heading over to where Kouassi is, I'm able to take out his guards and him in one fell swoop. Just don't mind the fact that I died like once or twice getting here. Well, unfortunately, I don't got time to celebrate, as Ruben the reporter immediately calls me, tells me to head over to a hideout just outside Paula. When I get there, he explains that the UFLL will start to take their offense to the region, but they framed me for being a spy, thus putting a target, not only on my head, but on your mercenaries' heads as well. They split up their attacks between the mercenaries on Mike's bar and the church, where all the people who are trying to escape the country are held up, and I can only save one. So, in better judgment, I decided to go with the church, which was the right thing to do, and not because they also supplied me with my malaria medication. Once I arrived, I seal off the hidden entrance to the caves once everyone makes their way through. The fight is difficult and hard, but I know, my skills, I'll be able to hold the bar. Well, at least I wasn't tied up upon waking up. Ow! I wander around the sandstorm aimlessly, not knowing which way to go, till I see a hut. I pass on right in front of it, however, before waking up and seeing the Jackal patching me up. Wait, what?
Seems like you're in a bit of a pickle, huh? 1 minute you're doing your job, and then an entire country is gunning for your head. That's just a regular Tuesday for me, kid. You'll get used to it.
You saved me? Why?
Well, saving you didn't even cross my mind when you first arrived. I thought that you were just another merc with a death wish. But then I started to hear about you. Whatever odds that were thrown at you, you came out of it unscathed. I guess in a way you are built different. Which leads me to my next point. Now, I know you're assigned to kill me, but let me cook first, okay? You saw what the outside is like, yeah? Nothing but death, destruction, and endless respawns at the checkpoints. Plus, the APR and the UFLL guys only want one thing. Power. Power to control the weak and helpless. Winning means complete control over this country, and I'm not having it. We'll talk later. Word of advice? Be careful with who you trust.
Oh man, don't tell me the princess is in another castle. We use comedy as a coping mechanism here. Hi, I'm Nick Greaves. I'm a lieutenant for the APR in the southern region. Speaking of coping, I know you're coping with the fact that the UFLL betrayed you, but let me offer you a hand. Leon is nearby doing a victory rally. If you kill him, not only will you get your revenge, but no one in the region up north will have to deal with any UFLL and APR nonsense. I mean, until we possibly start making a foothold back into the region, but we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. Once you're done, I'll send you a marker on your map. That's where I'll be at. Have fun, my little killer.
Welp, out of the frying pan and into the fire. Am I right? I start to make my way over to the rally to carry out my revenge on Leon. After killing him and killing all witnesses, I headed over to where Nick is at. He explains to me that in this region, the APR and the UFLO have a ceasefire, and that is no good, as no war means no jobs, and no job means
no money! I mean, how are we supposed to have a stable life if there are no jobs?
Have you tried looking up any blue-collar jobs? Like being a mechanic? Or an electrician?
Sadly, there's an overflow of them, so mercenary work is the next best thing. Now, for my plan. I want you to go to this pirate captain. He has a boat full of weapons that the Jackal was selling. He'll be raising a UFLL flag and will be sailing right on over to Port Salau. When the APR leader sees it, he'll think that the UFLL is arming themselves, and bing bang boom, that's got us our war back. Easy as pie, no? Well, good luck out there.
Ooh boy, I've always wanted to kickstart a war. Heading on over to the boat, I am met with the captain.
Ahoy there, matey! I'm Captain Andre, and this is my ship, the SS Krusty Krab. I'll also be your brother who's giving you blue missions, but we'll discuss that later, because right now, we need to get this ship going. Just know, we'll be fired upon by so many different fools. So do me a favor, son, and protect this ship with your life, or else we'll be meeting David Jones in his locker.
Alright, I played a lot of Sea of Thieves, so this should be a piece of cake. Flying through the river, I protect the ship with my life, firing at the mortar crew and any NG placements that stand in our way.
Me grandma with Alzheimer's can repair this ship faster than you, boy. She can also handle a machine gun better.
Eventually, we make it to the sea, where I am now tasked to go to a nearby medical clinic which will supply me with my malaria. And just like the church, it'll be where I go to do missions, in case I run out of medicine. During my conversation with the doctor, gunfire is heard, as it seems like the plan worked, and war is back on the menu, boys! Cross that one off my bucket list. Now I just gotta get out of town and let things cool off for a bit.
Hey man, don't go out the front door, man! Don't go out the front door, man! See? What did I tell you, man? Don't go out the front door! You're lucky not to have a million bullet holes in you! Anyways, hi, I'm
Nasreen.
I'll be the one who'll rescue your dumbass in case you need it. I'll be accessible in any safe house you've unlocked and upgraded. You have been doing that, right?
Yeah, I've been doing it. I can't wait to get more upgrades for the safe houses.
Oh no, the safe houses were said.
What?
Yeah, in this region, the safe houses do a complete restart. But hey, if you do enough blue missions, you get to drive a truck with a grenade launcher on it. So, that's cool. Yeah.
Heading out the back door, I get away from town to let things cool off. Unfortunately, Andre is attacked by a swarm of enemies, so I make my way over and quickly clear him out. After that is done, I do the weapon convoy missions to get even better guns, and do missions for both the APR and the UFLO. Now, if it sounds like I just breezed past this act, it's because, at this point, I was done with Far Cry 2. Look, after I learned that the upgrades for the safe houses didn't transfer over to this region, I stopped doing the blue missions completely. It started to become a huge waste of time, and if the game wasn't gonna respect it, then I'm not gonna respect it back. Since we're here, let me just say this. I am also not a big fan of the story. Honestly, kinda think it meanders into the last act, and even then, it's not good enough to keep me interested. All the characters except Jackal are just so one-note. They only are here for just exposition dumps, or just to be quest skippers, who all talk in a fast and monotone way.
We've ascertained...
No, I ascertain. Me, Kouassi.
There's a special forces outfit in area, just gun for hire guys, but they are armed to the teeth.
You're just one man. I understand it will be difficult, but at least you have the element of surprise.
I get with it being the point that there's no time for rest or emotion. You gotta say what you want to say, because any second could end with a bullet killing someone. It could be you or the person you're giving the mission to. And you can't show emotion for anyone because that can mess you up and you can lose focus. But it just falls flat for me. The Bastions are a bit of a joke anyways, if I'm being honest. Because they're just so comedically evil. Each time you're about to do a mission for one of them, there's always some conversation between the leader and his lackey talking about, "Oh man, I can't wait to do something evil today, but let's not tell anyone about it." And yeah, I guess it's supposed to show that both sides are in the wrong and that it's two sides of the same coin. And unfortunately, this will be a trend that Ubisoft will use a lot in later titles. Well, there is one thing I could say about the story that I like, and it's the Jackal. I generally believe he's one of the most underrated villains in the franchise, because he becomes someone who becomes disillusioned with his work and would much rather burn all down than seeing so many innocent people get caught in the crossfire. A crossfire that he helped committed. In the Jackal tapes that you could collect, you hear about his background as a Navy SEAL before he started selling weapons in South America. Eventually, he traveled to Africa to sell there as well. It is implied that he got cancer and eventually became terminal, thus him having a new outlook on life. There is a theory that he is actually the protagonist of the first Far Cry game, Jack Carver. It eventually did get confirmed by the game's director, Clint Hawking. So it is possible that after the events of Far Cry 1, Jack decided to start selling weapons, as it was probably better than fighting mutants on an island. Yes, that is what happens in the first Far Cry game, look it up. From selling all the weapons over time, he became cynical and nihilistic. This remained the case until his cancer diagnosis, and him witnessing the player character again name for himself. It is sad how he doesn't get a lot of screen time in this game, but he did make a great impression on me and so many other players, which is another trend Ubisoft will have in this franchise. Another thing I will give Far Cry 2 points for is the atmosphere. It feels downright oppressive and brutal, not only visual wise, but gameplay wise as well. Each fight feels like a struggle, as enemies can quickly kill you if you're not careful. In the towns, everyone feels like they're on edge, just waiting for someone to cause trouble. Thus, why is everyone so aggressive towards you? I think what shows the brutality the best are the healing animations. Depending on where you get injured and by what, there are so many healing animations that are just straight up nasty. You could be pulling shrapnel out of your arm or your leg, push a bullet out of your arm with your finger, snap your legs together after falling from a great eye, and crack your feet back to
2 hours later.
What happened? Anyways, after doing all those missions, I'm told that the APR and UFLL are in talks to have a peace treaty, and I forgot to record it. Thank you for notifying me. I will react accordingly. Okay, so sadly, I lost the recording of some very important parts of the game. So, instead of losing my mind for a minute at a time, I guess, here's an honest interpretation of what happens. The APR and the UFLL want peace, and I am tasked with bringing a diamond case from the leader of the APR to the UFLL as a peace offering. However, upon arriving, I find the guy dead, but the diamond case is untouched. However, the Jackal was already there waiting for me. He takes away the briefcase as he believes that both factions will commit crimes behind closed doors now, as the media will look away from the country due to the peace talks. I get knocked out and eventually wake up in prison. Oh great, he took the fall for everything. I then proceed to break out and head over to the APR to see that the faction is now being ran by the first lieutenant. He tells me to kill the leader of the UFLL, so I did. But the first lieutenant's underling of the APR tells me to kill the first lieutenant, so the underling can take over the APR. But I could also choose to kill the underling, but I think I killed the first lieutenant anyways. Eventually doing all of that, Ruben the reporter calls me and tells me to help him get out of the country. So, naturally I did. But before he left, he tells me to go to prison, where the Jackal is waiting for me. Instead, the Jackal tells me that he wants to end this madness once and for all by going through the jungle to get the diamond case and kill the leaders of both factions. So, I go after the faction leaders first. I then go to the diamonds, where my boys are waiting for me. Turns out, they want to try and betray me, as they want the diamonds all to themselves. And also probably because I stopped doing the blue missions. Whatever, I have no choice but to kill him. It was a self-defense, trust me. From here, I rendezvous with the Jackal, who tells me that the UFLO and the APR are advancing on the refugees. To get past them, we gotta bribe the border guards to let the refugees leave. And we gotta do it fast. So he gives me the choice of A, physically stopping the APR and the UFLO by blowing up a mountain that will block their entrance. However, the explosion will also kill me, as it needs to be manually detonated at point blank. There's also choice B, which is to just go take the diamonds to the border guards. However, the Jackal wants me to let's just say, not exist by my own hands. Because he believes that both of us are dead men anyways, with both factions gunning for our heads, and also because the Jackal's death is pretty imminent due to his cancer. Eventually, I decide to make the most logical decision to blow up the mountain and stop the mercenaries. Upon doing so, I get credits! I get credits! That's it! That's the end! That's the end of the game, everyone! Wow, that was torture! I'm giving this game a malaria out of a definition of insanity. Thank you for what? Oh hey, wait. I did record footage! Oh, but it's actually the diamond briefcase ending. So hey, let's just see that. Okay, so in it, we're seeing riveting footage of me driving the guard, and text appearing on screen saying that both factions continue the war, but hey, really's got 2 million people out of the country, so that's good. Okay then, Far Cry 2 is an interesting game, but it is also super tedious. I did not like traveling in this game, as it got real annoying real fast. The story was not interesting up until the 3rd act, and by the time it got interesting, that was that. Ultimately leaving a story-shaped hole in my cold, dead heart. If you still want to play it, then go for it. Look, I did enjoy some of my time with it, but if I'm being honest, I don't think I'll be playing this again. Unless if I download mods that make exploring and make it to where enemies actually feel you if you have a high reputation, and they don't respond after you clear out a checkpoint. So, I'm giving this game a... wait, I already did give it a score, did I? I actually don't know what to do now.
Hey, Chris, George right too! Fucking rush him, lads! Come on, get in there!
Get him!
Take him down!
Right now!
Get back here!
Rush him! We got him!
You guys are in town too?
What are you talking about? You've been with me this whole time.
No, I'm...
The UFLO.
Right. I'm sorry, but you can't blame me.
You both look and act so much alike.
What?